Welcome to SS2 Biology, Term 3, Week 3. Ecology is the scientific study of the relationships between organisms and their environment. A biome is a large geographical region characterized by a specific climate, vegetation type, and fauna community. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life, genes, species, and ecosystems in a given area. By the end of this lesson, you will define biome and biodiversity, describe the characteristics of major world biomes, identify Nigeria's biomes, explain the importance of biodiversity, and discuss threats to biodiversity with specific reference to Nigeria. Let us begin. The major world biomes are defined primarily by temperature and precipitation. Tropical rainforest, located near the equator, Amazon Basin, Congo Basin, Southeast Asia, temperature consistently 25 to 30 degrees Celsius year-round, annual rainfall over 2,000 mm distributed evenly, highest biodiversity of any terrestrial biome, stratified canopy and emergent layer, canopy, understory, forest floor, nutrient cycling is rapid, soils are actually poor in nutrients because they are quickly taken up by plants, examples of organisms, jaguars, toucans, epiphytes, army ants. Anacondas. Tropical savanna, grassland found between the tropical rainforest and desert, including Nigeria, distinct wet and dry seasons, annual rainfall 500 to 1,500 mm. Dominant vegetation is grasses with scattered acacia and baobab trees, large grazing mammals, wildebeest, zebra, elephant, giraffe, predators, lion, cheetah, hyena. Desert, extreme temperatures, hot days, cold nights, rainfall below 250 mm, very sparse vegetation, cacti, succulents, annual plants with rapid life cycles, animals, camels, fennec fox, sidewinder rattlesnake, nomib sand beetle that drinks water from fog. Temperate forest, 4 seasons, moderate rainfall, deciduous trees, oak, maple, beech, shed leaves in autumn, bears, deer, wolves, foxes. Taiga, boreal forest cold climate, dominated by conifers, spruce, fir, pine, permafrost in deeper soil layers, moose, wolves, lynx. Tundra, Arctic and alpine regions, no trees, permafrost, mosses, lichens, sedges, caribou, polar bears, lemmings. Freshwater, rivers, lakes, wetlands, occupy only 0.01% of Earth's surface but support 10% of all species. Marine, covers 71% of Earth's surface, includes coastal, pelagic, and deep-sea zones, coral reefs, tropical shallow water structures of extraordinary biodiversity. Nigeria stretches from the Gulf of Guinea coast northward to the Sahel, passing through several distinct vegetation zones that correspond to biomes. From south to north, mangrove forest, Niger Delta, coastal zone, salt-tolerant mangroves, Rhizophora, Avicennia, with prop roots, pneumatophores, for gas exchange in waterlogged soils, nursery for fish and shrimp, key species, manatees, mudskippers, crocodiles, mangrove kingfishers. Freshwater swamp forest, inland of the mangroves, dense forest on waterlogged soils, raffia palm, iroko, Melisha excelsa, mvio, bush pig, hippo, freshwater turtles. Tropical rainforest, southwestern Nigeria, Edo, Ondo, Cross River, Ekiti, and Cross River Basin, highest tree diversity in Nigeria, mahogany, African teak, tectona, okame, gorillas, chimpanzees, forest elephants, pangolins, drill monkeys, golden poto. Guinea savanna, the most extensive zone covering central Nigeria, Benue, Kogi, Oyo, Kwara, Niger states, derived savanna, forests cleared by human activities, and Sudan Guinea, dominated by grasses, Andropogon, Imporata, with shea butter tree or Vitellaria paradoxa, locust bean, Pachyia biglobosa, Dawadawa. Sudan savanna, northern Nigeria, parts of Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, shorter grasses, more scattered trees, roan antelope, baboons, ostriches. Sahel, extreme north, Borno, Yobe, Sokoto, very dry, scattered acacia, desert date, gum arabic tree, addax, Dorcas gazelle, fennec fox. Biodiversity exists at 3 levels. Genetic diversity, variation in genes within a species, different alleles. This enables populations to adapt to environmental changes. Low genetic diversity, inbreeding, genetic bottlenecks, makes populations vulnerable to disease and environmental change. Species diversity, the number and relative abundance of species in an ecosystem. Nigeria has approximately 899 bird species, 1,500 fish species, highest in Africa, 238 endemic to Nigeria, over 4,700 plant species, 1,000 butterfly species, and hundreds of mammal species. Ecosystem diversity, variety of different habitats, ecosystems, and ecological processes. Nigeria's ecosystem diversity, from mangroves to Sahel, supports this extraordinary range of species. Why does biodiversity matter? Ecosystem services, clean water, clean air, pollination, bees and butterflies pollinate 75% of food crops, pest control, nutrient cycling, carbon storage in forest. Food security, wild species contribute to nutrition, crop wild relatives carry genes for disease resistance and climate adaptation. Medicine, over 50% of modern pharmaceuticals are derived from natural compounds, quinine, malaria treatment from cinchona bark, morphine, poppy, penicillin or fungus, artemisinin, sweet wormwood, WHO-recommended malaria treatment. Culture and spirituality, many Nigerian communities have deep cultural and spiritual connections to specific species and landscapes. Economic value, fisheries, timber, ecotourism, non-timber forest products. Nigeria faces severe biodiversity threats. Deforestation, Nigeria has lost over 95% of its primary forest. The rate of deforestation was historically one of the highest in the world, 500,000 to 1 million hectares per year. Cross River State retains Nigeria's largest remaining rainforest block. The Cross River gorilla, fewer than 250 individuals, is critically endangered. Drivers of deforestation, subsistence farming, slash and burn, commercial logging, charcoal production, urban expansion. Habitat fragmentation, even where forest remains, fragmentation into isolated patches reduces gene flow and makes species vulnerable to extinction. Overexploitation, wildlife poaching, pangolins are the world's most trafficked mammal, elephant ivory trade, bushmeat hunting, overfishing. Pollution, oil spills in the Niger Delta have devastated mangrove and freshwater ecosystems over decades of petroleum extraction. The Ogoniland Environmental Assessment, ONEP 2011, found hydrocarbon contamination extending to 14 kilometers depth, shellfish killed, groundwater contaminated. Climate change, Lake Chad has shrunk by 90% since the 1960s due to reduced rainfall, increased irrigation, and climate change, affecting 30 million people and destroying aquatic biodiversity. Agricultural expansion, conversion of natural habitats to farmland, the greatest global driver of biodiversity loss. Solutions, protected areas, Cross River National Park, Gashokogumti, Kanji Lake, Chad Basin National Parks, sites, Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, Nigeria ratified, NESRIA, National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency, enforcement, community-based conservation, agroforestry. Key points: a biome is a large geographic region defined by climate and vegetation. Major biomes include tropical rainforest, savanna, desert, temperate forest, taiga, tundra. Nigeria spans mangrove, freshwater swamp, rainforest, Guinea savanna, Sudan savanna, and Sahel zones. Biodiversity operates at genetic, species, and ecosystem levels. Nigeria has exceptional biodiversity, 1,500 fish species, 899 birds, for 700 plus plants. Biodiversity provides ecosystem services, food, medicines, and cultural values. Major threats in Nigeria: deforestation, oil pollution, overexploitation, climate change, Lake Chad shrinkage. Conservation requires protected areas, legislation, NESRIA, sites, and community engagement. WAEC biology frequently tests biome characteristics, Nigeria's vegetation zones, ecosystem services, and specific Nigerian conservation examples.